Today we'll discuss 2019 paper section B. Section A, you can refer to the video which I have created for section A also. I have created two videos for both. Okay, let us start. So already I have in section B basically we have programs only. So we'll discuss one by one each and every program. So let us six programs are there. We have an option in that. So we are supposed to solve only four. There is an option, but I'll be discussing all the programs so you get an idea about all the programs over here. So let us start now. Just a minute. So very first program is of showroom. This is question number 4. Design a class named showroom with the following descriptions. What are the instance variables? So instance variables or data members will have name to store the name of the customer, mobile number to store the customer's mobile number, cost to store the cost of the item purchased, discount to store the discount amount, amount to store the amount to be paid after discount. Let us read the question first, then we can solve the question one by one. We have methods over here, showroom, which is the default constructor to initialize the data members. Input to input the customer name, mobile number, and cost. Calculate to calculate the discount on the cost of purchased item based on the following criteria. So criteria is given over here based on that. So we are supposed to write some if statement. And we have a display method to display all the details and main to call the create the object of the class and call the above member methods. Let us start now. So how are we going to solve this? So let us start it over here. The very first thing what we will do is, as usual, we'll be writing import java.util.asterisk. Now this is the first line because we mostly in every program we are going to take the input. So this is the very first line we will import the util package. Then it's given in the question that the name of the class is showroom. Okay, and the instance member. So we'll write it accordingly. So here, as you can see, the class name is showroom. The instance members like name is a string. What is given in the question, same you are supposed to do. So I'll just put it here only. So it will be easy for us to understand. So we can see here the name is there, which is the name of the customer, mobile number, which is the mobile number, cost, discount and amount. So this is what is there. Then the next part is, so this part is over. Now methods. Methods, first one is a showroom method. Now this is a default constructor to initialize the data members. So as you can see, whatever the data members are there, we have to initialize it to uh, some default value. So your name, it's a string. So we have to enter double quotes over here. Mobile number, it's a long value. So 0L. Cost, discount and amount, they are double amount. So you will write 0.1D like that because it's a double value. Next part is your methods. Now first method is your input method to input the customer name, mobile number. We will reduce the size of this also. So both can be windows are visible. Okay. So here as you can see, the next is your input method. So here you can see input customer name, mobile number and cost. So we have to make use of, we'll write public void input because same as given in the question you have to use that. We have the scanner class which we will use. Then we have to give some output to the user. So we'll write here customer name. Okay. So as you can see here, you will be writing the name of the customer. Okay, then the mobile number, we'll accept the name, we'll accept the mobile number, we'll accept the code. Three things are there which we have to accept as given in the question. The next part is calculate the discount based on the cost of the purchased item. Now, as you can see here, there are four conditions, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So according to that, we'll make use of a if statement. First thing is we'll make use of calculate method. Here, if cost is greater than, we are taking the last one. Sorry. If cost is greater than 35,000, then in that case, what is the discount? It is 20%. So you will write 0.20 into cost. Else, if the second condition, we are going from here, more than 20,000 and less than This is and condition less than 35,000. So what is the discount? 15%. So you will write 0.15 into cost. And the third condition, more than 10,000 and less than or equal to 20,000. So here it is 10%, as you can see here. So else if, and the last condition is less than or equal to 10,000. So it is 5%. So here else if cost is less than equal to 10,000, discount is 5%. Then finally we have to calculate the amount. Amount is going to be cost minus discount. So whatever is the cost minus discount. So this part is over now. Calculate. Now last method is your display. Display, we have to display all the details, whatever is asked in the question. So we have to display the customer name, mobile number, amount to be paid after discount. So this is the amount. So customer name, name of the customer, mobile number, as you can see here. Okay, and customer amount after discount. So you can see here plus amount, what we have calculated. And the last part is we have to call the main method. So here, as you can see, to create an object of the class and call the above member method. So we will be writing the main method public static void main string args, and here we'll create an object of the showroom class. This is creation of object. Then you have to simply call the method. So sr is the object name, sr dot input, sr dot calculate to calculate, call the calculate method, and sr dot display to call the display method. Let us run and see the output. This is a complete program. Okay, let us see the output. We'll give some sample input, customer name, mobile number, give some number randomly, give some cost. Okay, so some whatever the discount after discount, whatever 2000 discount we have received. Okay, this is what is the program. Variable table, I will take a separate, we are supposed to write variable table for all the programs. I'll be taking separate this video for creating of variable tables, how you are going to write. So that I'll be using that. Okay, because that's a common thing. Let's go to the next question. Now, next question is question number 5. Let us understand this. Question number 5 of 2019. Use a switch case statement. Write a menu-driven program to do the following. First is to generate and print letters from A to Z and their Unicode. Second is display the following pattern iteration statement. So as you can see here, A to Z, we have to print the characters and the Unicode. Unicode means whatever the code associated with that. Okay, number associated with that. So it's very clear we have to make use of switch statement. Let us see the program now. So we'll be having a switch statement and we'll have 3 cases. First case for the first one, second case for the second one, and third case for a default. Okay, if any error is there, if the user is not entering the right kind of a thing, then in that case we'll be making use of this. So let us make it this one I will close now. Question is already there, so I can just maximize this. So first line is import java.util.scanner. Okay, as usual, you can write asterisk also. Then you can write a class name, class menu driven. You will be writing a main. Now here, first line is we have created object of scanner class. Then we have to display two options to the user. First, you will say press 1 to see the Unicode of A to Z and press 2 for pattern. And then you will ask the user to enter a choice, either 1 or 2. Then we will accept the choice. So it's a number, so we have to take it as an integer. Okay, so we'll write kb.nextstring. Now this number has to be passed to switch. So we will write switch and we will pass the same choice to this. So whatever the number entered will do. Here we will have 2 cases. First case is for the Unicode. So as we know, from capital A it is 65 and up to Z it is 90. So we are taking a for loop. I is going to be from 65 till 90, and we have to increment. So first time when we will display this I, okay, character, it will get converted into a character, whatever is the number. So here the character will be displayed, and here the number associated with that character will get displayed. Okay, and break means we have to break the case. We have to do only first case. Then the second, here the second output is this. We want to display one, then we want to display one, two, then one, two, three, one, two, three, four, one, two, three, four, five. As we already have an idea of nested loop. So here we can see we have two nested loop. One is for I is equal to one and for j is equal to. Now the outer loop is for the line number. So 1 to 5 because we want to print for 5 lines. So we have started from 1, we have gone up to 5. And j is going to be from 1 to that number. So first iteration it will happen for one time. Second iteration it will take place for 2 times. Third iteration 3 times, like that. Okay. And we are printing the j value. So here if we see, okay, when I is 1, that j is also 1. So 1 will be printed. So first iteration you will get 1. The second iteration when I is 2, this will happen 1 and 2. So as we can see here in this example, we are getting the output 1, 2. So actually we are printing the j value. Okay. So this is how things are there for the second one. And and default is simply we will write the invalid choice. So let us run this program and see. So if you enter 1, you will get the output like this. Okay. It's quite simple actually. And for if you are entering 2, you will get the pattern. Okay. And if you are entering something else, then in that case it should go for invalid choice. Once again, I will discuss what it is. This program is a very simple program where we are having three cases. First case to display one A to Z, second case to display a pattern, and third is going to be your default case. Okay, there is no need of writing break in this. It's very simple program. Let's go to the next program, array bubble sort. Now this bubble sort, you can refer the video for bubble sort. This is the same thing actually, but let's go ahead with the question. What is there in the question? We'll read the question nicely. See, these programs are very simple to understand. Okay, they you have to be like just read and you have to put it because same program the algorithm will not change. So you can refer the video I have created for bubble sort. Write a program to input 15 integer elements in an array, sort them in ascending order using the bubble sort technique. Okay, so here what we have done, we have to just input 15 numbers from the user, okay, and then sort it in ascending order using bubble sort technique. So the technique will not change. You can refer the video which is created. I will give you the link of that video. Okay, just a minute. Only what is different, I will just explain. Because in detail, I have already explained this part. Okay, only one small change is there which you can refer for this particular topic. Or you can refer this video for the complete explanation. uh, go into the playlist. You can see here in class 10. Okay, here the all the theory notes are there, so you can refer that. Okay, in that you have the concept of bubble sort numbers. So this program I have already explained over here. You can refer this video with the help of this. You will understand this nicely. Same program is there. There is no change. Only input is added. So see, if you generally get a bubble sort program, okay, this is a video you can refer for numbers. For string, the next program is there. You need to check the question and accordingly you can try that. Let's come back to this theory now. So if you see here, what is asked is input 15 integer elements and sort them in ascending order using bubble sort technique. So what is different only that I will explain. Remaining things are same. Only here what I have done in this program is you can refer that video. Okay. So let me close this. Only here we have accepted the elements. Okay. That is the only change. Otherwise there is no change. We have accepted the input from the user. 15 elements are accepted over here. Otherwise, absolutely this is the same program. There is no change in the program. Okay, we'll go ahead with the next program now. Uh, Next program is the overload series. Now here design a class to overload a function series as follows. Now this is the first series, then the second series and third series. So these three series are given over here. Okay, and simply what we have to do is we have to class. You have to overload the series method. So let us see how we will do that. We go into the program. Okay, so if you see the first series, it is very simple. First series is directly x raised to 1, x raised to 1 to n. So there is no difference as such. For the second series, you can observe over here, it is 1 minus whatever the number 1 minus 1. Okay, that is 1 cube minus 1, 2 cube minus 1, 3 cube minus 1, and 4 cube minus 1. You need to understand the series. And here it is very simple. It is 1 upon 2, 1 upon 3, 1 upon 4, till 1 upon 10. So let's understand this class overload. Here in the first one, it's very simple. You will write word series. Here we will have two parameters. One is x, another is n. You will take the sum initially as 0. Okay. And you will have I is equal to 1 to n. Okay. And that is we have to start from 1, we have to go up to n, and we have to increment by 1. So here first sum is equal to sum 1 plus mat dot pow x comma I. The first time what is the value? I's value will be 1, then 2. If you see the series, it is starting from 1 to n. So it's very simple. Okay, you simply have to take sum1 is equal to sum1 plus mat dot pow x comma I. X raised to I means it will be first time x value will i's value will be 1, then it will be 2. So x raised to 1, then x raised to 2, like that it will happen. Okay. Then the second series. Second series is we are passing on p value. So p value means to where we want to go. Okay. So here, if you observe the series, it is very simple. It is 1 cube minus 1, which is going to be 0. And 2 cube minus 1, that is 8 minus 1, which is 7. 3 cube minus 1, so 27 minus 1, which is 26. So you can see this is what is there. So you simply can pass a p value. We have to take sum 2. We have to start from I is equal to 1 to p because we have to go up to p. Here it is going to be what sum 2 is equal to sum 2 plus this is I cube. Either you can write I into I into I, or you can write mat dot pow I comma 3. That is also possible. Minus 1. Okay, so this is how we can write. So just write it just for your, you can just write it like this also. Okay, this is also another way of writing. In case if you write, you can write like this, mat dot pow. Okay, so this is pretty simple. Now and then at the end we can display the value of sum. Third series is this is also very simple. We have to start from 2 and we have to go up to 10. And we have to take the numerator is 1 only. So here it's very simple. You have to start from 2, you have to go up to 10, and it's going to be 1 divided by I. So it will be first iteration, it will be 1 upon 2, second iteration, it will be 1 upon 3, 1 upon 4, like that, up to 10. And then simply we can display the value of sum 3. So this is very simple. And then always remember in main you need to call all these methods. So first one, you create the object, then you can call the first method by passing two parameters, second one by passing one parameter, and third one by passing no parameter. Okay, so let us run this program and see the output. Let's go to the next program. Question number 8, write a program to input a sentence and convert it to uppercase and count and display the total number of words starting with the letter A. Now here first thing you need to do is we have to take a sentence, okay, and then you have to convert it into uppercase. Uppercase we already have a method for converting. Then you have to count and display the total number of words starting with the letter A. Like if you read the question over here, if this is a sentence, so how many words are there which are starting with A? One, two, three, 4. Okay, 4 are there, so we have to display 4. Let us go into the program, how we are going to solve them. So here, first line as usual, you will write import java.util, and second we will write class letters. Then in main, you will write make use of scanner. This is how you will accept the sentence. Okay, then first thing you will convert it to uppercase. So S1 is equal to S1 dot to uppercase. Then initially we will take the value of C is equal to 0. So C is nothing but a counter. Initially, the value of C is going to be 0. If the first character is A, that's the first one only. Like here, if the sentence is Asha lives in Agra, then the first sentence itself is A. So we have to just increment the count, C will become 1. Then we have to start from the first one, that is S is equal to 1. Because this is the array index, you have to start from 1 till the length of the array, whatever is the length of the array. Okay, so we have to go on searching. If the first character is space and the next character is A. That is in the first case, here it will not come, here it will not come, here it will come. Okay, so when it will reach here, at time you will find that okay, the first character, the previous character is space and the next character is A. And that time only this C will get incremented. So here you can see C is equal to 2. And then we can print the value of C. If you run this program now, let us see. Okay, so two are there. We execute it for so you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. So 7 letters. So it has given. Okay, how it has happened. So as you can see, this is a key point. This one is for the first one, first character only. Okay, if it is the first one only from the sentence, this will be taken. And for the remaining ones, we are doing this with uh, the if the previous character, whenever you find A and the previous character is a space, then only we will increase the count. Okay. Let's go to the next program, which is the last program, tech number. Now, what is a tech number? Let us understand. A tech number is a even number of digits. If the number is split into two equal halves, the square of the sum of the two halves is equal to the number itself. Like example, if 3025 is there, then we have to divide it into two parts. So if you divide it into two parts, you add it and you square it, then you get the same number. Then it is a tech number. So what we have to do? We have to print all the four-digit tech numbers. So four digits means it's going to be from 1000 to 49. Okay, let us understand that. So this also is pretty simple. So logic is very simple. What we are doing, we are taking from 1000. I is going to be from 1000 till 49 because we have to take these numbers. Now, how we will take the first two digits? If we take a four-digit number, if you divide by 100, we will get the first two digits. If you find a remainder, you will get the last two digits. Let's take one number. I'm making use of annotation so that it is more easy for you to understand. Let's say this is my number, 3025. It's my number. Okay. This is just one sample we are taking. This is my number. Okay. So what will happen? First, this we are checking. This is program is going to generate all the numbers from 1000 to this. But what is the logic? If you are taking 3025, okay, and if you try to divide by 100, how we are getting that F and how we are getting SH? Because FH will give you the first first two digits. So let us see how it is coming later. 100, so it is 3 and this will be 300, okay, and you divide here and 25, okay, and here you will get 0. So if you see here, if you try to divide by 100, this is what is your quotient. That is, if you are using the division sign, we will get this. If you are using the remainder sign, you will get this. Okay, this is the logic. So first two digits, if you divide by 100, you will get the first two digits, and last two digits you will get. Then you have to simply do what? Because the logic is what? The logic is you have to add after dividing into two parts. You have to add them and you have to take the square. This is what is done over here. So we have to take the square of the number. Okay, first you take the square of that number, which is the sum of squares. So fh plus sh, whatever is there, you take the square. So what that will be there in some square. And if both the that after taking the sum and this I, if both are same, then you have to print that it is a tech number. Okay, let us run the program and see. You will get multiple numbers from 1000 to that number. Okay, so there are three numbers which are the tech numbers, okay, which will get displayed. So I hope this is clear with you. Okay, just a minute. I will clear the annotation. In for board papers, I have already given the Google Drive. You can check that. Okay, thank you everyone.